Part 2 of In My Life. Same old thing. Let's listen to Fred sing the section and start talking about the topics.
All these places have their moments with lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life I love them all.
More to talk about. Let's listen to the beginning of this line again and analyze what's really going on.
All these places have their moments.
So Fred's splitting the vowel sounds here. Play. All these places have, and that's a scoop. Right off, that's the first thing that's happening. So listen to Fred do that. He does it quite well.
All these places have their moments.
Still in this real comfortable chest voice range. Again, why this is such a great song for male singers. Lots of the Beatles tunes are great songs for you to be able to move around, yet there's moments in time, as we all know, when both John and Paul book it up there and get some high notes, and it's really a challenge. But this is not one of them. This is more about quality and more about little embellishments and scoops and falls and establishing chest and good chord closure, all the things we're talking about. And Fred is remaining consistent in his approach towards bringing the chords together with a little bit more strength and chest resonance, and then backing off and getting lighter and bringing a little more head resonance into this area of the voice again. So moments is a little more gentle and a little headier, even though we're in chest.
All these places have their moments.
Okay, got that? Now the next line, with lovers and friends I still can recall. He's sustaining on call a little longer than you would expect, and he really digs into his chest a little bit. So listen to that and see if you get what I'm saying.
With lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living.
With lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead. That much. With lovers and friends I still can recall. All very chesty, lots of mouth resonance, good chord closure, giving it a little bit of energy, bringing a little bit of energy up through the chords. We can handle it. We can handle it with no sweat when we're this low in our range. So we don't have to worry about things that might happen when you're a little bit higher. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that all the good vocal technique goes out. It's just that there's a technique within a technique always. And that means that when you're in lower notes, you're singing on more of your vocal cords. More of your vocal cords are holding back the air. It's easier to get a principle like this where you're bringing a little bit more strength and resonance down on the lower notes. It can be done on the higher notes too, but you got to get the feeling of release, I keep saying. And that is, you have to truly release into head voice land and make sure that when you're in head voice and you're trying to bring more chest resonance into your head voice, you have to release into your head voice and then bring resonance in a different kind of a way up there. Now we're not there. We're down in these lower notes, and I hope I'm not digressing, but just trying to teach you a little bit more about how this resonance works besides in chest voice when it moves up over your break. Again, when he's saying, with lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead. That much, plenty of chest. Then some are living. When he goes very light there, again, he's consistently following what he's been setting up from the beginning of the song, and that is challenging his resonance a little bit, his mix there in chest, and bringing it a little stronger and going lighter. I know we've talked about this a bunch now, but we want to keep on pulling all of the elements together. So let's listen to him again, knowing that that's what's going on.
With lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. With lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living.
And finally he sings, in my life I love them all. We got that all. He's going light again. I know, I'm sorry. I know you know by now. Okay, but when he goes to all, to get that nice, quieter sound on all. Two things. Don't let the L wrap you up or make your tongue move in a position that we don't want it to. Like all, that'll tighten you all up, right? So it's AH, all, the ability to hold a note nice and straight, bring your vibrato in. Here we are again when I'm talking about choices. We can do it just the way Fred's doing it. He's going light and holding the note and letting it happen. You can hold it a little stronger. Love them all. You could do that and let the vibrato come in immediately like I just did. Or love them all, and then let the vibrato come in. Now, if you don't know how to sing vibrato, I've got a couple of little ideas for you too, as well as that is also on the site in relationship to lessons. You can look up vibrato lessons to help you learn how to do vibrato if you don't know how to do vibrato. If you do know how to do vibrato, then you have choices. Again, the choices are to let your vibrato come in immediately, or to hold a note for a bit and then let the vibrato come in as a tail, or to choose not to do any vibrato whatsoever. Those are your choices.
In my life, I love them all.
A couple of little ideas just to maybe kickstart your vibrato. Again, there's a couple of little exercises. Here's an exercise to maybe kickstart your vibrato. A couple of different ideas actually, to help you get the feeling of it. Now, don't misunderstand what I'm going to ask you to do here, and it's strange, it's a weird one, but it kickstarts or somehow sort of gets your neuromuscular system into sort of like feeling this, and it doesn't quite work the way that you think it's going to work anyway. And I'm going to have you do this a little bit just so you can trick yourself before I tell you what it is you're really doing. You'll understand. So we're going to take a yeah. We're going to work this principle out. Of course, vibrato can be sung in any part of your range, but we're going to work this principle out in chest voice, which is predominantly what this whole song is about, right? So we're going to take a, start here on a A here. And you're going to say yeah. We're just saying there's going to be 4 on top. We're going to go yeah. Now my vibrato comes right in, but we are not going to do it that way. We're going to do it like this. We're going to sing the yeah, and we're going to go yeah. Then let the vibrato come in. See how I did that? Now again, if you're saying, hey, wait a minute, I don't know how to do that, I'm saying to the people that do know how to do that, that's the way you do this exercise. Now for those of you that don't know how to do vibrato, weird trick number 1. Put your hands together like this. Now, when I ask you to do this, don't shake yourself crazy. Just shake your hands like this when it's time to bring in the vibrato. So if I go, example, yeah. I know it seems silly, but I want you to do it. It'll help you get your vibrato going. So you hold a note, yeah. Don't shake your hand on the bottom note, but do hold the bottom note out. And if your vibrato comes into the bottom note, cool. So now, one quick thing, just quick talks about vibrato. There's a coveted vibrato. In our culture, we like no slower than 4 counts per second, no faster than 8 counts per second. Slower than 4, and you sound like the Cowardly Lion going, it's too slow. Faster than 8, 7 or 8, and you start to sound like a billy goat. So we don't want to do that. And a very slow vibrato we call a warble, and a very fast vibrato we call a tremolo. We don't want a tremolo, and we don't want a warble. Okay, so let's give this a shot. And I'll actually say shake, so you know when it's time to do it. So you're going to go, yeah, hold, shake, right there. Dun, dun, dun. Now I had to stop my sound but you get the idea. So we're going to go again. Yeah, 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 yeah. Get the idea? Hold a note, shake your hand, and then come back with a yeah, yeah, yeah. Hold a note, shake, back down. Hold a note, shake, back down. Hold a note, shake, you got it. Hold, shake, hold that bottom note a little longer. Hold, shake, hold that bottom note. Do your vibrato happening in there? Let's go back down. Hold, shake, hold a note down there. Let your vibrato come in if it will. Now, I'll tell you what's going on. When you're doing that, you're working on the bottom note. Yeah, 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 yeah. Maybe your vibrato will come in on the bottom note after you're doing this a while. It's a great little exercise just to sort of kickstart you. One other one is, you know this place called the solar plexus where if somebody bopped you in there, it would knock all the wind out of you? You ever got hit by a baseball or a basketball in there, or some guy punched you in the stomach? This was the place that knocks the wind out of you. I'm going to tell you that this is another little trick to start to feel and get the idea of the pulsations, but don't do it too much and don't do it too hard, or else you're going to be mad at me because you're going to get sore there. But if you do it a little bit, you can handle it. Just get the idea of it. So, yeah, yeah, like so. Yeah, 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 yeah. Same thing, you're starting to get the pulsation there. If you push it too much, a lot, you'll get sore, so don't do it a lot, but do it a little bit and you can handle it. Don't be afraid of it now that I said that. But just a little bit, you put your fingers right in their solar plexus, and then you do the same pulsations there. So one is to shake the hands, the other is to do the pulsations. A couple little quick ideas about vibrato. If that doesn't do it for you, then you have to spend a lot more time training and using the exercises. Use the vibrato exercises.
In my life, I love them all. In my life, I love them all.
Let's go ahead and listen to Fred sing this section, and then after that, that about wraps up part 2, and we will move into part 3.
All these places have their moments. With lovers and friends, I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I love them